Hi everyone, it's Katie from the Charlestown Club, and today we have a bit of a different video for you. One of the things that I do at the club is that I run a Dungeons & Dragons class, and I actually use Dungeons & Dragons in the art room a lot because it is a great system to just teach people how to make a character and something that you want and you created with a rule book and an idea to start creating your own original character that you get to draw and comes directly from you. So I'm going to bring you through the process of creating a character from start to finish with the idea that you then can go and draw your character, and I would love to see what your characters look like at the end of this series of videos. Now, what you will need to create a character is a character sheet, the player's handbook, and some dice. You'll just need 4d6, which is a standard dice. You can find them in any board game. It has the 6-sided dice. If you don't have any of these in your house because you're not a D&D nerd like I am, you can find all of this stuff online. I just printed out this character sheet from an online PDF. The player's handbook can be found in PDF form online, and if you type in to Google dice roller, you can get any type of dice, whether it be a 6-sided dice or a 20-sided dice for the game. When you just type into Google dice roller, it's the first thing that you can use if you don't want to just go searching for player's handbook online, is you can use a website called D&D Beyond. They have the player's handbook for free on their site for you to look through, so you can go through all of these steps with that website. You can create an account on that website for free and even make your character digitally using their system. I just like to have a physical copy of the paper in the room so that way I can save it for kids later, and for myself, I do like the paper and pencil way of this game, as it is the classic, but, you know, let's embrace the digital age that we have. So the first thing we're going to do is that we need to pick our race and our class. That is the first thing that we can do when we are making our characters. Now, your inspiration for your character can come from anywhere that you want. It could be a character from a book that you read. It can be optimizing the type of play you want to do. Maybe you want a character that is super into getting all up close and personal, kind of like the character on the front of this book is doing. Or you can do a much more ranged fighter. They have the Ranger class for that type of thing. I think I'm going to go for something that I don't normally play, which is a magic-focused character. So, the first thing we need to do is we need to open up to the races. There are a bunch of different races in Dungeons & Dragons. Each of these races allow for different types of racial traits. It can be increasing your ability score for certain things, the age range of your characters. There are races like Dragonborn, which only live to 80 years, and then there are races like Gnomes, which can live up to 500 years. Your race can also inform your alignment, which is how good or evil your character may be. The size of your character is determined by your race. You have small characters like dwarves and gnomes and halflings, or medium-sized like the half-orc and the human and the elf. Not in the player's handbook, but there are some races that are considered large, like Goliaths, which are half-giants. So that's a totally different size from the other spectrum. Your speed is a racial trait. So obviously, if you are of a small size, your speed will probably be a little bit smaller. You also get certain languages based off of your race. Depending on the race, you might get, if you're an elf, you will learn Elven. If you are a half-orc, you will know Orcish. Things that make sense with the race that you have chosen. Every race will have common, aka the language that everyone speaks at the table, whatever language that may be, so that way it's easy to communicate. Some races also have sub-races, so if you are choosing a elf, you might be a high elf, or a wood elf, or a dark elf. It's just more specific things, you get a couple extra bonuses that way. Today, we are actually going to be playing a gnomish character. I decided to go for a small race. I don't normally choose them. My favorite race in all of the game is a half-orc, but we're going to go with the gnomish race. So, what you're going to do is, at the top, there's a line that says race, and you're going to write whichever race you choose. I'm going to write gnome. And I'm also, because gnomes have a subrace if you go into their little section. And I'm going to pick a forest gnome because it gives me some magic abilities. So I'm just going to do that. Ooh. I'm going to put my name where it says player name because I am the player. And then I'm going to, by looking at all the information that is on this page, I am going to start filling in some of the information that I get because I'm a gnome. So I get a +2 to my intelligence score, so I'm just going to write that there. Because I chose forest, I get a +1 to dexterity. I get... My size is considered small, so my speed is a 25 speed, so I can move 25 feet in 6 seconds. And then some extra abilities I get, I'll put where it says features and traits. I have dark vision, which means I can see in dim light, which is pretty cool. I have gnome cunning. And my language, I have Gnomish. So I'll put that in this box over here because it's other proficiencies and languages. Anything else I get to add? Ah, yes, Natural Illusionist. And Speak with Small Beast. Now, the next step is to pick a class. Your class is basically how you're going to fight, what you've kind of been trained in, and things that determine how you go about the world. Now, there are a bunch of different classes, and each class has a different ability and saving throws and things that they are proficient in. So I said I wanted to do a much more magic-based one. Not all of these are magic. Most of these classes you can have some sort of magical ability, but some of them don't have some at all. Like a barbarian very much is based off of fighting and using your personal strength. A monk doesn't have much magical ability. There are certain subclasses of fighter. There are certain subclasses of rogue that will have it, but you do not have to play those with any magic at all if you don't want to. Today, I'm going to choose a sorcerer, which is a spellcaster who draws on an inherent magic of the gift or bloodline. So I'm going to write sorcerer up here above my race, because that is where we start. And if I go to the sorcerer page, all the way in the back here, I have all this information where at first level it tells me that my hit points is 6 plus my constitution modifier, which I don't have yet. So all of those numbers I will put in later. Now I'm going to stop the video here and put in all of my proficiencies that I get because I'm a sorcerer in the boxes, and in the next video we are going to roll some dice to pick our stats and use the rest of the information we have here for our class. My suggestion is when you're choosing it, read through everything you have for the class that you're choosing, and you won't have to worry about making sure all that information is written down just yet. So thank you for watching, and next time we will be putting in some numbers and dealing with what's on this side of the character sheet. Bye.